And so that's kind of with the book, I go back and tell my story. I was raised in a religious cult. I was born in the back of a cab over camper truck, home birth with no identification, no birth certificate, no social security number. We were kept out of the medical system, homeschooled, kind of raised off the grid, and did that, all the way up until I was 18. As I got a little bit older, my mom finally like left, and my dad was the leader of our group, and it was mostly Christian values, but hardcore biblical.
So, YouTube analytics tells me that 86% of you guys are not subscribed. Let's change that. Hit the button.
Every day's life and death, angels and demons, very strict, similar to maybe Mormon religion or some other like Waco Branch Davidian type stuff, David Koresh. We weren't, hoarding guns or anything, but a lot of strict disciplines that were put on us and things we could and couldn't do, and very sheltered, kept out of the public eye. So from that, I had a lot of self-limiting beliefs and things that I quit school in the seventh grade. I mostly worked manual labor jobs. We had a construction company and a farming. We had a furniture and pottery and wrought iron import business. So it was entrepreneurial. I still had that good aspect from it. And I tried to leave the bad and take the good, whatever was good that would help me in life. I was very intentional to like, okay, I have good work ethic. I can go out and get a job. We were involved in the finances of the businesses. So I was good with money from an early age. And, I just wanted to get out and live a normal life. And so my mom was able to help us get our birth certificates and social security numbers. I finally got that right when I turned 18. Was able to get out of that and get a car and get my GED, get my driver's license, all of the things that would allow me to have somewhat of a normal life, and got a job in manufacturing at 18. And so it was an interesting childhood for sure.
Sounds like it. So, part of a religious cult, you say? So, now I've got to ask. I mean, it sounds like it wasn't a horrible, horrible thing, just kind of strict, but what was it that made your sect, I guess, different than other Christian, organizations? 'Cause, I mean, that's the whole thing, is they all have that one or two little things that make
Yeah.
them different.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it just my dad. As an adult, I was explaining how he was to somebody, and they said it sounds like he has narcissistic personality disorder. And so I looked that up, and it describes him to a T. And then you combine that with religion, and that's how you get a lot of cult leaders. And so he believed he heard everything directly from God. He was higher, than the government. He didn't it came straight from God to him, and then he did what he wanted and lived his life that way. So really, I mean, that was the distinguishing factor. It was, we still read the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament.
Yeah.
He controlled a lot through fear, and people were searching for more out of life, and so they would give up their lives and come devote themselves to him, and then he'd tell them
Wow.
what to do, and they do it up until a certain breaking point where they'd be like, all right, this seems a little crazy, and then they'd usually
So you saw
leave.
that part of it too. You saw the people
Yeah,
leave. You saw them say, maybe not.
yeah. It would be a breaking point where it was like, okay, this is asking a bit too much now.
Sure.
And so then they'd end up leaving. So I saw a lot of people come and go, as when I was a child. And because we didn't have birth certificates or socials, it was like all these people are willingly like coming and doing this, and we can't. We don't have a choice. So it was crazy to me. But I think now as an adult, I understand it more, how people can go choose that life, is because a lot of people don't want to make choices for themselves. They want somebody to make the choices for them.
Certainly.
And my dad had no problem making choices for people. So
You,
uh,
you know, I think a lot of that are just people are looking for something. There's a whole lot of broken
Yeah.
folks out there that are, and when I say broken, I don't mean financially. I mean in their life and their internals, man. They need something, and sometimes it's community, sometimes it's God, sometimes it's just a companion. Really,
Yeah.
it really is. And I think that a lot of people do take advantage of those things, and at the same time, it's a good business. And
Yeah.
I think that I also think there's probably a place for it. I think that there's organizations out there that, I mean, if they're truly providing help to those folks, hey, give it
Yeah.
to them, man. You can't hate on them for that.